What's the first thing you do when you get paid? You open your check, right? Or whoever has direct deposit. I still get checks, but you look at how much you got, right? I know some of you thinking, well, so what? What's wrong with that? You earned it, right? There should be nothing wrong with that. But I have a quote that says, we can tell our values by looking at our checkbook stubs. Now, I agree with the quote. I feel that the world now, we depend on money. The world is run on money, which is true, but we take money to a whole nother level of extent. Like, I want to take, for example, what I learned last week before spring break. We were in this program, and we were talking about the government and what happened when the stock market crashed. Anybody remember that? Okay. So we were talking about when the stock market crashed, how China bought the 401ks, our Social Security and things like that, and how the government nowadays, us now generation, we have Social Security, we have pensions and things like that we're never really going to get to because it's owned by China. So I was thinking about that, and it made me think about also, the music we listen to nowadays, all these rappers, these people that are out, what do? They flex about these nice expensive cars they have, these watches, the earrings, the jewelry and things like that, but they're not focused on their future. They're focused on, oh, I want this nice $10,000 watch instead of a home that my kids can grow up in one day. Or I want this Lamborghini car that I'm gonna roll in a video one time and never use it again, right? That makes no sense. And I also wanted to talk about our good for nothing president who wants this wall, right? But says he was gonna pay for it or was gonna get Mexico to pay for it, but now wants us, our hard-earned money that we use every day to pay bills, groceries, and things like that, wants us to pay for it, which I think is completely bogus. So I definitely agree with this quote. We can tell our values by looking at our checkbook stubs. Absolutely, and I think everybody, well, not everyone, but a lot of our people around these days really depend on money and they're using it in all the wrong ways. Thank you.
That's for a guy, obviously. How old are you? You could totally do something at this point.
All right, well, the rhetorical question at the beginning is okay. The transition to the topic was also okay. It's not very clear whether, kind of what it is you're saying about the point. And I think your supporting points need to fit the argument a little bit more clearly, although as you get going, it becomes clearer how those things fit in there. The second point of the speech, I think, is the one that fits the best, the point that you're making, that what people spend their money on reflects what they really see as being their priority or what's important. And I like the idea that you're talking about the musical acts who maybe treasure the fast car or the quick lifestyle and some of the things that are going to be obviously seen as less important. One of the things that I was wondering about, well, is that making an impression on the world? Do you get the feeling that maybe other people are going to see that and want to emulate those values? I think that could have been a way to maybe develop that a little bit more. The first and the third points are okay. I'm not sure that your first point gets you very much. The third point really kind of feels like it's tangential, talking about the wall and that kind of thing. It's not as clearly connected to the main point that you were making in the speech. So, but there's an organizational structure in the speech which I appreciated. I don't know why you have the notes. You don't really need the notes. You're pretty straightforward. Presentation flows very smoothly. When I'm listening to you, it sounds like it's going very efficiently. Your audience contact is generally solid also and naturalistic, which I think is helpful to you. Your body movement's a little bit awkward. You've got your ankles crossed while you're speaking, so you look a little unbalanced the
They
whole
look
time you're up there. Yeah.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, yeah. People, it's an unconscious thing that's going on there. And like I said, it's a little brief because I think that you're focused on getting through the points that you've got, and it's not so much that you rush them, but you are, because you were trying to keep your fluency going and sound smooth, that I think you missed the opportunity to maybe elaborate a little bit more on it or comment on some of those things. So it feels a little underdeveloped, but it's okay. Like I said, most of the delivery things I think are pretty solid. All right, thank you.